Hi guys, welcome back. Hopefully the audio has improved. I did purchase a microphone to mount on top of my camera to hopefully reduce some of the ambient noise since I am recording in my garage and there is a large opening which reveals a lot of the street noise from the passing cars and people and whatnot. We're going to go ahead and jump straight into the lesson, which today is on superlative adjectives. And you're probably wondering, what's a superlative adjective? Well, I'll tell you. So it essentially means the most or the best of something. So use this with adjectives. So adjectives, as a reminder, are it's a part of speech which modifies or rather describes a noun, which is a person, place, or thing. So for example, like I got a phone, right? Let's say it's new. Well, it's the newest phone. So the word to describe the phone, which is my noun, is new because that's my adjective, which again is describing the noun. But to create its superlative form, I've added est to the word new to make it newest, right? It's the latest. Newest, latest, synonyms, but you get my point. And we're gonna give a few more examples as we go. And this is not, by the way, this is very outdated. You can probably notice my cute kitty cat, courtesy of one of my awesome kids in class. Alrighty, so the rules. Because as with all things in English, there's going to be a ton of rules followed by a ton of exceptions. Get frustrated, slam your head into a wall, call it a day. This is where we're at. But first, we're going to go over some of the rules which apply to when to add est to an adjective. All right? So the first rule for when we can add est to an adjective is if your adjective has one syllable, you're going to add the, so the article the, plus est to the ending of your adjective, not the beginning. You can. I'm going to attach these dashes, and depending on where they're located, if the dash is before the word or the set of letters, it implies that it would go at the end of the word. So anytime you see that, which I've circled, and I'm going to continue to circle like a crazy person, oops, let me go back. It implies that it will go to the end of the word, which in this case is going to be an adjective. So let me switch to my highlighter. So first example I give is the cutest, right? Not the best sentence, very short. Well, okay, what's my base word for cutest? Think about the adjective, the base adjective. In that case, it would be, oops, that's not the tool I want. It would be, I will get this. Cute. So cute is the adjective, which should apply to a noun, but of course I neglected to include a noun in the sentence, so I'll add it at the end. No, I won't. We're just going to keep going because I'm tired of filming this over and over. All right, for our next rule, if your adjective, which you're trying to modify into its superlative form, has one or two syllables, and it ends in the letter Y, then what you're going to do is you're going to get rid of or drop the letter Y, and you're going to replace it with the letter I. Okay? I'm going to go ahead and highlight that as soon as I can figure out where my highlighter went. You are going to change it. Maybe a highlighter that isn't going to darken it. Let's try yellow, which is an appropriate highlighter color. All right, so you're going to change the Y to an I, and then you're going to add est. So the example I give is busy. So busy is one syllable. It does end in a Y. And in order to convert it to its superlative form, I've dropped the Y, as again in this example, and I've added I, or replaced it with I, followed by est. So now I have the busiest. And you'll notice my amazing artistic abilities also on screen. Okie doke, now we're going to go over some of the exceptions to the rules I just taught you, which negates the whole point of the rules, it would seem, or learning the rules, but here we are. Okie doke. There are plenty of other examples. This is not limited to the examples that I'm giving you. Feel free to add those to the comments if you would be so inclined below, so that it would help others navigating English as language. Okay, here are some of those exceptions. So the word good is one syllable. You would expect in the first rule actually that we discussed to just add est to the word good, right? It's one syllable. I'll add est, call it a day. and to create the goodest, right? No. Can't happen, won't happen. Instead, what you end up with is you have to attach the article the and then change good entirely to best. Same thing with the word bad. Again, one syllable, you're thinking, I'll just add est. Mr. Mata taught me the rule, call it a day. No, you do not say the baddest. And I'm sure you've heard it. In fact, I actually do hear plenty of adults using it. That's because those adults never learned what you're learning right now, and they should feel ashamed. All right, so in that example, instead of saying the baddest, because dear God, don't say that or write it, you would say the worst. So like an example is, like, I can't stand eating turkey. No offense to turkey fans. So, that's the baddest food. No. Instead, I would say, oh, it's the worst food, for me at least. Again, not to step on anyone's toes. Oh, and another exception. So this one's a little bit trickier, but just listen carefully. All right, so if the word has 3 letters and it ends in a consonant, all right? Remember, a consonant is any letter that is not a vowel, and I'm going to try my best to write this on the screen. So if it is not an A, an E, an I, an O, or a U, so if it is not a vowel, you would immediately be able to identify it as a consonant. Okay, so I'm just going to write vowel so nobody confuses what I'm saying with, oh, those are the consonants. No, those are vowels. Oops, vowels. Let's make it plural. So what you would do in this case, again, if it's 3 letters and it ends in a consonant, so going back to an older example, which is big, B-I-G, so that's 3 letters. Okay, oh, and I've got it right there. So I've taken the last letter and I have to double it. So I'm going to take that consonant, which is G, I'm going to double it, so add another G. Then you would add EST. This is another example of that one. So, let's do this one. If I can get this writing tool to work the way that I want it to, we would be smooth sailing, but yeah, slow but steady. Okay, let's do sad. Okay, 3 letters. Ends in a consonant because it's not an A, right? It's not an E, it's not an I, it's not an O, it's not a U, it's a consonant. So, okay, if I want the superlative form, all right, I need to double that consonant. So, oops, I don't want that. Oh, sorry guys. Palm rejection on this thing is not the greatest. Sad, so I'm gonna double it, add EST. That is a, oof, look at this. Look at me go. Now everyone can witness or bear witness to my handwriting. Saddest. And there's plenty of other examples. If you can think of additional ones, feel free again to drop them in the comments. Okay, now, an exception to the exception, which I've highlighted in yellow and you can see on screen. And I'm gonna go ahead and circle that in a very dramatic way using the color green, is fun. Because fun is 3 letters. It ends in a consonant. So you would think, oh, okay, I'll just say, oh, that was the funnest experience of my life. No. And in fact, if you say that, everyone around you will judge you, myself included. Even if I'm not there, like I'll get like a tingle. And in fact, every time I hear someone say funnest, I know, or I can feel that somewhere in the universe, an angel has lost its wings. So do not fall victim to this. It's an exception within the exception. So you would just say the most fun in that example. You would not say funnest. Okay, we're gonna go over some more rules because rules are fun. Okie doke. So if your adjective has 2 or more syllables and does not end in the letter Y, you would not add est to the word. Instead, what you would do is you would add the article the followed by the descriptor most in order to make it a superlative. So like as an example that I gave is extraordinary. It's more than 3 syllables, right? And in this case, actually, well, so in other words, it's more than 2. So I should say it's more than the 2 syllables max that I had listed. So instead of saying it was extraordinariest, right? Like drop the Y, change it to an I, add EST, the way that we talked about in one of the previous rules. No, you would have to say the most followed by that adjective. So the most extraordinary. Like, oh, I saw the most extraordinary cat. Or, oh my goodness, this is the most extraordinary video I've ever seen. Totally true. Okay, so that was just a brief lesson on superlatives. Feel free to add any additional examples in the comments below. I encourage you to take notes, to have created flashcards. If you haven't, you can go back and rewatch it. My kids especially. These are just good rules to know. It'll help to improve both your speech and your writing. And yeah, I look forward to the next one. For now, I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording. Have a good day, guys.